Flosstube, it's Sandy, and this is my channel, Stitching with Sandy. Today is August 21st, 2023, and it's Monday. It's been 2 weeks since my last video, and I'm on time. That's surprising. I have to admit, this won't be a very long video because basically kindergarten is kicking my booty. And I say that with the nicest smile because my new class is adorable and I love each and every one of them. But man, you forget what they can't do at the beginning of the school year. And it's because they've grown so much through the school year that last year seems so fresh in your mind and all the things they can do. And then this year's comes through the door and you realize, oh my gosh, they can't do so many things. But I love it. It's a fresh start, so it'll be great. In life updates, there's only a couple. I live here in California, if you're new and did not know, and we recently had a tropical storm come through. And in California, the month of August is usually hot, hot, hot. But we had a tropical storm come through. It came up from Baja California, and there was a tornado warning in San Diego as it was traveling. In my area, I live in what is actually considered a desert area. So it's generally it's been 105 to 107, but the weather dropped down to 87 degrees. But even though it dropped, you went outside, it felt sticky, even when it was raining. And we didn't have any major catastrophes. The only thing that happened was we noticed before we went to bed last night when we were turning out all the lights and locking the doors, that in our backyard, one of our trees toppled over from the roots. So it was so wet and saturated for such heavy rain that I guess it just couldn't handle it. And when the wind blew a little bit, knocked the whole thing over. So that's being dismantled. It's a very big tree, so it only fits a little bit into our dumpster each week until we're finished chopping it apart to get rid of it. But that'll be our project for the next few weeks. We've already filled the bin as full as we could today, and after trash day on Wednesday, we could start chopping some more apart. So that'll be a chore for us. Other than that, I did go to French Stitch, and in my finishes, I will talk about French Stitch then. So that's my life updates. That's it. I've just been working so much that I come home exhausted and fall asleep at 7 o'clock at night. Each week I get an hour further on, and eventually I'll go back to my normal bedtime, which is around 9:30, 10 o'clock. But those kindergartners have me running. They're really pushing it. All right, so let's get to FFOs because we want to talk stitching. All right, so I have several FFOs, even though I didn't feel like I got much stitching done. I kind of just worked on a little bit of smalls, a little bit each day. Some days got 5 stitches in. Some days I might have stitched a whole hour, but I did get some done. So here is one of them. This is HandsOn Designs, a year of celebrations, and it's the month of August. And I love this piece. I did a little bit of changes on it. I changed the wording into black. I wanted it to be more bold. I didn't want to use the brown. And I changed, there was some oranges used in the leaves, in the flower petals, and there was a green right here. I took those out and I made them more of a golden and a yellow, and then I turned it to chocolate brown because it is a sunflower and my favorite. So that's the only thing I changed. And then I made it into this cute little pillow. And this one's going in my class. My goal is to I have a tier tray at school, and it has little gifts that the students have given me, but I want to throw in a monthly pillow each month so they can see my cross stitch. Maybe I'll bring in some more stitchers that way. All right, and then this one is by Tracy Campbell, and it is called Life is Sweet Watermelon Quilt. And she designed this because there was a video where if you've watched my previous Flosstube videos, over the summer I did some crafting, and one of the crafts were these little pillows, watermelon pillows. Well, Tracy designed a piece to go with those types of pillows, so of course I had to stitch it. And I stitched on this 32 count mystery Lugana. I got this blue Lugana in a grab bag from Keepsakes when I was there during StitchCon. And I finished it into a pillow, and I did a rickrack border. And I think it turned out really cute, and it goes perfectly with my watermelons. So I'm very happy with it. These watermelons are no joke. You need to pay attention to the pattern the whole time, because I tried to watch TV with my family while stitching them, and I kept having to tear out. So this is definitely a piece that if you're going to work on it, you want to focus only on it and nothing else. All right, then my next piece is, last year I went to Jingle Ball and I bought a ton of stuff because everybody did. But Kathy Haberman from HandsOn Designs, one of my favorite designers, and she put out a pattern called Oh Christmas 3. It was recently released to the public, and I had them in my monthly 2 days rotation, and I was doing one a month, and I finally finished the last one. So today I FFO'd them. So here is Noel. Oops, sorry, the bow's kind of blocking the end. Noel, that was the first one that I did. And then I did Joy. I love these so much. And then the last one in this group is Peace. So let me get them back. If you haven't stitched her pieces, she does make a, here they are. She does show a finishing, she has some finishing directions in there to show you how to finish them in a round. If you bought them at Jingle Ball, you could buy the finishing kit, which was just the mat board, but she had them already laser cut, so I went ahead and bought those. That makes it a lot easier than cutting out your own. But I followed her tutorial exactly. The only thing different on mine than hers is my ribbon choice. Other than that, everything else is exactly the same. And then of course my fabric is different in the back. And then what I did is at Jingle Ball, there was an ornament booklet, and each of the designers that participated put in an ornament. And Kathy had made this ornament with the same color scheme as the Oh Christmas 3. And this was the ornament. It was called Pierre Noël, which I love because my grandmother's from France. So there's a French Santa. And it used the same colors. So I figured since I had them out, I'd go ahead and stitch it up too. And I just love him. He came out so cute. And I finished him the same way, only instead of a round, I did a rectangle, but I used all the same finishing so that it would match. And I love it so much. It's so cute. And then, and that's my FFOs. Oh wait, I have one more. My one from Friend Stitch. So I did do Friend Stitch, and I know a lot of people have shown the box. I'll just quickly show a little bit, but I'm not going to go through everything. We received our box, and inside our box we got a bag that housed all of our goodies, and inside there we got 3 patterns. I'm trying to pull those out. One, oh, here they are, with my hand the whole time. So we got 3 patterns. One was the main pattern, which is this one. You had to buy the linen extra to do this, which I did. And it also comes with the little buttons. And then you got, they had Amy Brecken was the guest designer that joined and did a piece, and this was her piece. I love this. The only thing I think I want to change is I want to stitch her skin in green, and I think I'm going to do the fabric in like a dark blue or something to bring out the night, since there's so many stars. So that one's cute. And then they gave us a surprise one, and this one has the piece in it as well as all the stuff to finish it. And this is that piece, and it's a little crow. Isn't he cute? I can't wait to stitch him. So those were the 3 pieces. You also got the floss to stitch them, and that came in this. They did, I did order the fabric extra. It's 32 count Stormy Night vintage linen. And they were showing us how to do a couple of stitches, and so they gave you an extra piece of linen if you wanted to practice those stitch. The specialty stitch was in the crow. It's one of the leaf stitched in a specialty stitch. And then you got a little box with little treats inside. Okay, so like I've got this little thing that opens up into a pumpkin. I remember those on my table when I was growing up. This is the backer piece for the crow. I don't think I'm going to use it as a backer piece, so I'm probably going to use it for something else. You got a cute little notepad, French stitch, and then lots of candies. And we got this little coaster that says trick or treat. So while we were stitching, if we wanted to, during the retreat, if we wanted to have a drink, we have a coaster to put on. And then last, they gave us some little pins. They're little tiny pins that match the designs. I might change those into needle minders. But during the video, oh, and then we got this little clicker. Now this clicker, Halloween, I'm going to take it to class to get my students' attention. It's really loud. Look, this is it, and can you imagine if they're all playing and I click it a whole bunch of times? It'll probably scare them because it sounds like a cricket to me. But I am going to surprise those little kids with it. Now, the one thing that they did give us prior to getting our box was they sent us a pattern ahead of time. And it wasn't, you didn't have to stitch it ahead of time. It was just like here's a little piece to get you excited while you're waiting for your box. And we were supposed to open our box that day. So the pattern, I'm going to show you the picture. The freebie pattern that they sent us was Scaredy-corn. Yes, I want to make sure I'm showing you right. Scaredy-corn. And so during the friend stitch, first I tried to talk in the chat. People were saying hi to me, and I wanted to say hi to so many, but there was 400 some people in there, and that chat was just spiraling really fast, so I couldn't keep up. But during the entire virtual retreat, I was stitching. I started at the beginning and finished at the end. This was the freebie one, and I changed it completely because they called for like a natural color, and they had this is like a lighter, you can see it's like a mulberry purple, and then a black border. But I thought, oh, it would look pop if I changed it and put it on black. So I did. And I love it so much. And then my friends, Bonnie and Jessica, they finished theirs, and they finished it to look like a little candy wrapper. And so, of course, I had to do the same. So that's what I did. Let me just tell you, I searched and searched for a tutorial to make these. Couldn't find one, so I winged it. I really did. It was not easy. But I want to make more, so maybe I'll show you one day how I did it, because it was a challenge. But I do love how it turned out. I'm really glad that I got to make it that day. If for some reason you like the colors I have and you went to Friend Stitch and would like to change them, I do have my floss colors that I use, and I'm happy to share those color names with you. So just message me. My information is in the description box below, and I would be happy to share the colors that I came up with. I literally just played with my floss. I picked through the colors to decide what I wanted, and I went with that. All right, so those are my FFOs. So let's move on to FOs. So FOs, I finished Little Miss Sunflower, and this is by Little House Needleworks. I love this so much. The only thing that I changed on this was this door brown color, the roof, or the chimney, not the roof, the chimney, and her dress and the berries in the basket were that brown, and I changed them to a red. I wanted them to be more red. But other than that, everything else is the same. And this is on 28 count Coffee Tea Dye Monaco by me. I love it. And I haven't figured out how I'm going to FFO it yet. I have an idea, so hopefully in a week or so I will get that finished, and then I can share with you. And then my next finish is Raven Moon, and I love this piece so very much. It comes from the Just Cross Stitch 2022 Halloween issue magazine. And inside the magazine, he was done on gray, but I wanted to bring out the moon and make these colors pop even more. So I had this piece of fabric. It's 28 count Monaco. I dyed it myself. It's dyed with denim blue and purple. And I just knew the colors would bring out the moon even more. And I feel like it even highlights the crow. So I know how I want to finish this. I want to finish it in a frame. It's 5x7 stitching in here. I want to look for like a 6x8, and I want it to be kind of like a gothic type of black frame to put him in. So I'm on the hunt for that. Kind of waiting out for Hobby Lobby. They go on sale. Frames go on sale every now and then. So if I can find one there, I will. If I cannot, I will scavenger and look on Amazon and see what I can come up with it. But I know I want to frame it. So hopefully I'll have it framed in time for Halloween. I love that piece so much. All right, so those are my finishes. It's funny. Here I am. I hardly got any stitches in, just a few each night. And since I went back to work, but a few stitches and I have all these finishes. Granted, they're not big finishes, but they're finishes anyway, so we'll go with it. We like that. All right, so last time on my Flosstube, I asked if there were any questions on things that you're struggling with. And I got a list of things that people asked. I've been stitching for over 30 years, and I model stitch for many different designers. Even to this day, I've been model stitching probably 20 years now. From various designers. And so I asked if there were anything you were struggling with, and I thought I would tackle it to help out. So I have my first Stitchy Tip. I'm gonna insert it here. Hi Stitchy friends, it's Sandy. I'm here with a Stitchy Tip. I'd like to begin with a preface that I do have an art background. That's my minor in college, and I've studied art my whole life. So keep that in mind when I'm explaining this to you. But one of my subscribers, actually more than a few, asked if I would go over how I decide on making changes for colors, both in floss and in fabric. So I thought I would kind of go over a little bit of information with you to help you understand how I look at color, and hopefully this will help you too. So first of all, I'm going to go into kindergarten mode, and I'm going to show you the color wheel. And I want to talk to you about the color wheel. In the color wheel, if you didn't know, there are primary colors. Those are red, blue, and yellow. And nothing mixes to make those three colors. But when you mix those colors together with each other, they make new numbers, new colors. And in the color wheel, if you see on this one, if you split the color wheel in half, you will have warm colors on one side and cool colors on the other. And the other thing I want you to keep in mind is that on the color wheel, complementary colors, which means colors that look really well together, are directly across from each other. So if you look at, here's a really warm red, straight across is green. Those are complementary. And purple and yellow are complementary, and blue and orange. And I use those a lot when I'm thinking about colors for what I'm stitching if I decide I want to change it and I'm not happy with what the designer put out. And the other thing I take into mind is what my home decor looks like too, because I don't want something to stick out and not match with the rest of my house. So I'm going to show you a few pieces that I did some changes in colors, and I'm going to show you why I did them. So the first piece I want to share with you is a piece that I pulled from the Just Cross Stitch Halloween magazine from 2022, so last year's magazine. And the piece I pulled out was Raven Moon. So here is Raven Moon, and you can see that the model was stitched on a gray, kind of like an eerie night. But when I looked at this piece, I saw in the moon the yellow. And I thought, wouldn't it really pop even more than it does here if I had a purplish background? And I thought that would pull the yellow out a little bit more, make the moon brighter. So that is what I did. And yellow and purple, complementary colors. So I'm going to show you my change. So I stitched mine on purple. And you can see that now the moon really sticks out. And what I like the most about bringing the yellow tones is, look right here where the crow's beak is. All of a sudden, it looks like the moon is shadowing and lightening up the crow, so he'll stand out even more. I don't feel like you get the same effect on this one. So just by changing the fabric color, I didn't change any of the floss, I just changed the fabric colors, and my inspiration was the yellow and the moon. And I just feel like it made it pop even more. So that's one thing that I changed. And I want you to know that I never buy called for fabric. If it comes in a kit, if I am part of a virtual retreat and it comes in the box, then yes, I'll use it. But generally, I have lots of fabric. Sometimes I'll spend a day just dyeing different colors and putting it away. And then when I find a piece that I want to do, that's when I pull out what I have and decide which color to use. So the next piece that I did was this piece. This one I think is what spiked most of the questions. This is Strawberry Blossoms from Kathy Barrick, and she's beautiful. Now when I saw this piece, it was hanging in my friend's house. She had it on the wall, and in my younger days, I had brown curly hair, like really, really curly, so much so that it would puff up and frizz up. So when I saw this pattern, I saw her with her curls and said, oh my gosh, that looks like me. But one thing about me is I love the color green. It's my favorite color. And I didn't really care for the blue strawberries. So I knew those were going to be changed to red. But then I started thinking about this blue dress and the blue, and if I want it to be me, then I wanted it to be representative of me. So I decided I'm going to pull green and put green in there. And that's what I did. First, I chose a very pale green for the background fabric because I do want the reds to pop, and those two colors are crossed from each other on the color wheel. So I know they're complementary. So I chose Serene by Picture This Plus fabric, and this is the color that I chose. And I know in the film it doesn't show very well, but it is a very pale green. So I knew that was going to make the red pop. And then I decided I have a dark blue and a light blue, which means if I'm going to change it to green, I need two greens, a dark green and a light green. So I did change them, and when I changed them, there's two types of greens. There's a warm green and cold green. So the warm greens are going to have yellows mixed into them. Those are the warmer greens, like olive green, lime green. Those are really hot, warm greens. On the cool side would be greens that are mixed and are more on the blue tones. So I happen to go to those ones more often than the others because I like cooler colors. I prefer them, they feel comfortable to me, and so I try to stay on that. And so what I did was when I switched them, and here is my stitching. And I stitched the dark green, replaced the dark blue that was on there, and anywhere that the light blue was, I switched it to the light green. And you can see that these two greens are not warm, they're cool, and then they play nicely off the pale green fabric. And by doing that, then you can see that the strawberries really pop on this fabric now because I've got a lot of green next to it, the fabric's green, and I've had those bright reds. And so I want you to look at, here is the red here. And even though she has red fabric up here, the red just is not as bright. Of course, keep in mind that photographs are not exactly what the piece looks like. I'm sure her piece is just as beautiful. But now they really pop. So for me, that makes it comfortable. Now there is one problem when changing colors, and I face the same problem as everybody else. When you change a color, sometimes it won't show. So you can see these little decorations right here. The called for color was a white, regular white. But when I stitched right here around this piece, I used the white and it didn't show because the serene is so fair. So what I did is I went in with ecru and now they show. So sometimes it's trial and error. So just keep that in mind, don't get stressed. Usually what you should do is stitch a few in a grouping. And then the other thing you can do is stitch in the top of your fabric, and I would say stitch 3 rows. And they don't have to be long, maybe 6 stitches each, because when you have one row, it's hard to tell for sure if it's gonna work. But if you put another row next to it and next to that, then those rows are together, and together your eye's gonna see it as one color, and then you can see, am I seeing that color very well, or is it still too pale? If it's too light, then you need to change it. The other change that I did to this particular piece is Kathy Barrick has, most of her ladies are stitched really pale skinned. And to me, it blended in with the fabric. And I knew because of the white stitches that were down here that I turned to ecru, if I had used the called for skin color, it would have faded away too. And I really didn't want it. I wanted her to pop. So what I did is I pulled out 3 different types of skin colors. And I tested them on the fabric. I had gone on the side and I had stitched a row of 4 stitches across and 3 rows of it. So that would be 1, 2, 3 rows. And I did it in each color. And what I found was that this particular color popped on the fabric more. And I think it's because it has that red hue mixed into it. It's like an orangey red mixed into the peach, and then that made it pop more because it complemented right next to the green, where the other colors I thought were very fair, and which is why I chose not to use them. So I do this in everything I do. The other thing, sometimes you need to think of when you're looking at floss colors. If the called for is super bright and that's not your thing, then take that color and pull colors in the same family. So if you have a pink, for example, and you pulled the pink and you're like, I'm not really a pink person, I do like reds, well then lay that pink down, pull some reds, lay it next to it, and then try that. Sometimes it's just a different tint in the color that you're looking for, or a different shade that will make your piece feel more comfortable to you. My best advice to you, if you're not familiar with colors or you're not comfortable with them, is go ahead and order yourself a color wheel. They have them where they're movable, and I'll see if I can link one in the description box below. But you hold the wheel and you can turn it, and what it will do is it'll have a little window that will be open on the top and one on the bottom, and you can compare those colors. They also have them where it will come down into shades of different of a color. So if you have a red, it might be in the middle, and then it'll give you all the colors above it that are lighter but in the same color family, and it'll give you all the colors below it that are darker, and that will give you an idea. And what happens is, complementary across the board of your color wheel, you will have, if you have a dark red down here, you can see what the complementary dark green, that would go nicely with it, just by looking on the color wheel. So that's very helpful. I always lay my floss down on my fabric when I'm choosing, but I'm always thinking of, do I want this to be a really in-your-face, bright, colorful piece? Usually in the spring, I do have a lot brighter pieces, but on a general thing, something that's gonna hang in my house all the time, I'm looking at what colors are in my home decor, what color. You can see my wall is kind of like a yellow toned tan, so I have to make sure that whatever I choose is gonna look comfortable on the wall and not scream and make my wall super yellow, because then I'll feel sick in my house. So I look at those kind of things too before I stitch. And then again, just for the color choices of what looks nice next to each other. Now, I don't know if this is helpful to any of you, but that is how I look at colors, and this is how I use them in my stitching. So I hope this helps. I hope that this Stitchy Tip helps somebody, and I hope that you'll come back and see what I have next to offer. I did get a lot of questions, so there will be a lot more little clips in future videos. Until then, I'll see you later. Have a great day. Bye. I hope that made sense to you. I had fun making it, and I have more ideas in the future. I do need to find a couple pieces that I can be working on so that I can answer some of those questions for you. So look forward to that coming next. All right, so that brings me to previous giveaways. The last time that on my last Flosstube, I was giving away Summer Row by Bent Creek. And the person who won this, the keyword was say sandcastle. And the person who won is my friend Michelle. Your YouTube channel name is AZ Hippie Stitcher. And I know that's Michelle. She stitches in my Sunday Zooms. So Michelle, reach out to me with your address and I will get this out to you. Congratulations. And then I also was giving away Quaker Mermaid by RETM. Isn't that fabric beautiful? That's a pretty color fabric. And the winner of that, the keyword was mermaid, and the winner is Kathy Coates. Kathy, congratulations. Just send me your address in my email, and I will get this out to you so that you can begin working on it or put it in your stash for a future workout. All right. Congratulations, ladies. I'm so happy that you won. I want to talk about something that I started, and I feel so bad. Please forgive me. You can still start. Here's the thing. I wanted to do a SAL, and the Bougie Stitchers, Nancy and Jenny, are always so sweet to join in with a stitch along with me. And we always put it out there for other people. And I really meant to advertise early. And every time I did a floss tube, the last two floss tubes, I forgot to mention that we were going to do this. So, one, keep in mind that I do a 2-day rotation. So I won't be able to spend every single day working on it, which means I'll be stitching on it for a very long time. But we're going to be, so it's the Bougie Stitchers, Nancy and Jenny, me, and Nancy, the disorderly stitcher. She's joined in to do it too. And we are stitching the Equality Sampler by Plum Street. And the hashtag is hashtag Equality Sampler Sal, S-A-L. And so Nancy, she's so sweet, made me a project bag to put my SAL in, and I have decided to stitch mine on. I'm making it big. I want it really big. I'm excited about this piece. I'm doing the call for floss, and I'm stitching mine on 28 count natural linen, and I'll show you my start. We started this on the 15th. And so I don't have a lot, but every stitch counts, right? So this is my start. I started working on the urn. I started on the bottom left. I think Nancy, the disorderly stitcher, has already stitched the beautiful flower, but I've started down here. So I'm only like halfway up the pot. So that's where I'm going. So you can see this is going to take a while. So if you'd like to join us, I hope you do. Please use the hashtag. You can tag me in your posting on Instagram, and then that way I can see what you're doing, and you can tag the bougie stitchers and the disorderly stitcher too, because I know they're going to want to see what you're up to as well. So I hope you'll join us for the SAL. And again, I'm so sorry I didn't post it sooner. I feel bad about that. Now, I don't know if you are new, but if you are, one of the things that I like to do is host a swap. The swaps, I will give a date for when you need to get your name in by. Then I will match you up with somebody and send out who you're mailing to. And then you're going to stitch along the theme, and I'll tell you what the theme is in just a minute. You'll stitch the theme, you'll finish it how you would like. The finished piece the finished stitching should be no larger than 6 by 6, but you can finish it any way that you want. And then you mail it to the person that I give it to by a specific date. Now, some people mail just the stitch piece and that's all that's expected. However, some people are over generous is what I want to say, and they will throw in a few little treats with it. I don't limit that because I think that if somebody wants to share some kindness, then we should be okay with that. So if you want to share kindness, great. If you just want to do the piece, that's all you have to do. And that is all that everyone that participates is expecting. So my next swap, last year I did an autumn themed one. So this year I want to do a spooky swap. So I use my tree and I decorate it every month. And so for Halloween, I want to fill it with lots of Halloween ornaments. And I have some, but I thought it would be fun to do a spooky swap, and maybe I can add some more to my tree. So if you're interested in joining the swap, what you need to do is email me. My email's in the description box below. Email me your first and last name, your address, and then you'll be in. Please do that before September 1st. And on September 1st, at the end of the evening, and I'm on the Pacific Coast, so I'll probably be doing that in the evening around 9 o'clock. So you might not see my email till the next day, but I will send you who you're mailing it to, their name and address. And also, this time around, if you are mailing, and when you respond to me with your name and address, let me know if you're willing to send international. I know a lot of people have been worried about shipping. I haven't had too much trouble. I usually send my pieces in the prepaid boxes. You can get a flat rate shipping, and I usually go with that. And I have not had any trouble sending those out of state and out of the country. So let me know if you're willing to send internationally. If you're not, let me know that too, and that way I can make sure that whoever you're sending to is someone you're comfortable with mailing to. So the swap will be due to be mailed by October 1st. If you send it out on October 1st, that guarantees that your person that's receiving your swap will have it in time for Halloween. So spooky swap, if you're interested, email me before September 1st to let me know that you're interested, and let me know if you're willing to mail internationally or if you want to stay within the US only. All right, so that's exciting. And then I have some happy mail that I would like to share with you. One is like an advertisement, I guess you can say. So I love crows and ravens. They're my favorite bird. And I happen to know that Tiffany, if you don't know Tiffany, she is Black Cat X Stitchery, so cross stitchery. And here's her business card. I'm going to show you the front. And then here's the back. It's a QR code. If you want to go ahead and zap that, it should take you to her site. She makes project bags. And I asked her if she had found any crow or raven fabric. Last year, I went and searched for some, and I couldn't find any where I live. And some of the ones that were on Etsy that I would have liked to have purchased, the shipping ended up making it more expensive than what I wanted to do. So I asked her if she happened to have any, and she had sent me 2 fabrics that she was going to be getting, and I got to choose which one, and she made me a project bag. And so I want to show you, it's beautiful. Here's the back, and I love this one. This one, she had 2 that she showed me, but this one had the raven here with the little witch hat, and then it had some in the tree, where I think the other one only had, like, this would be the only one, but this had 2 different motifs. And then it is a vinyl front, and she has her little zipper pull is a little black cat. Look how cute this is. There we go. Isn't it cute? And then inside, she's so sweet. She gave me the business card. I told her I was going to shout her out. And then she gave me a Stash Tea Breakfast in Paris. And what she doesn't know is this happens to be my favorite flavor of tea. I have a whole tin filled with them. And then she also gave me some cute little floss drops, which will be great when I fill this project bag. And I think I'm going to put that crow pattern from Friend Stitch right inside. So see, aren't those cute? I just thought that was so sweet. What a nice little added touch. So not only did I get a project bag, but the zipper pull's adorable, and the stuff inside. And look at her little label too. It like totally matches the bag. Isn't that cute? So I am going to put her information in the description box below, and she makes fabulous bags. Go check her out and support her if you can, if you're in the mood for a project bag. The second thing I want to shout out that came in the mail is I have been doing challenges, which is something new for me. I joined the Late Night Stitchers. My friend Debbie Sisk is part of that group, and she invited me. And I've participated now in 2 of their challenges. One was a 24 hours of cross stitch challenge, and then this last time they did a stay at home retreat. So you were supposed to stay at home and stitch, and she gave you various times that you would post your whip or new start, post your picture of it, and you had to use a keyword and put that with your picture so that they know that you were just starting. And then you had exactly 1 hour to work on it. And when you finished at the end of the hour, you put your needle down and you had 10 minutes to post your progress. And so that went on for a weekend. I want to say Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It might have been Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm not sure. I feel like, anyhow, I participated, and then I ended up winning one. So my prize came in the mail today, and I won Seaworthy Sampler by Teresa Kogut. And I can't tell you how excited I am that this came in the mail. This was a retreat piece. I don't believe it's been released yet, so I was super excited to get it because I did not visit the Stitch West retreat. So thank you, Debbie and Late Night Stitchers. It had so much fun. They're on Facebook if you want to participate. It seems to me like they have various challenges. I know that right now there's they have different challenges coming up, and you just sign up and then they send you the information and they post, and it's a lot of fun, and I've had a great time, so I plan on continuing. So I hope you'll come and check them out. All right. So that is the end of my video. It's a very short one. So I hope that when I come back to you next time, I will have another giveaway. I don't have one this week. And I hope until then you be confident, be courageous, be creative, and be kind. And you have a wonderful couple of weeks, and I'll see you soon. Bye.